So we've had breaking news. Bayern Munich are going back to the table and they're going back with 80 million plus add-ons to Tottenham to try and get Harry Kane out of London and into Munich. The last offer of 70 million with add-ons was rejected, and Daniel Levy and Tottenham always try and hold that persona out there of trying to do a hard deal and drive up the price and doing deals at the last minute and all that kind of thing. And Bayern are normally the absolute opposite. They don't like to get into bidding wars and overspending and overcommitting in that sense. But if they're coming back to the table with the second offer, with reports being Harry Kane has said he doesn't want to score more goals than Alan Shearer anymore. He wants to go and win some medals, and he wants to go and do that in Germany with Bayern Munich, then I think the deal is now at this point all but inevitable. If Bayern are going to be willing to come back to the table and say to Tottenham, let's just get the deal done, let's make this happen. He's in the last year of his contract. If he doesn't do something this window, extend or leave, then he goes for nothing next year. And Levy and Tottenham do not want that to happen. With all the broken promises the guys had over the last couple of years, even though I think Ange is going to do great at Tottenham, I think he's definitely checked out. And if he's checked out, it's probably Tottenham's time to cash in. And since losing Lewandowski, Bayern Munich have really lost their way. Sadio Mane, Choupo-Moting, Thomas Muller, no one's really cut the mustard since Lewa left last year. The managerial changes at Bayern Munich has been quite busy as well. And I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan of Thomas Tuchel, but I think he will kind of get Bayern back on their feet in that sense. And he clearly sees, and I don't blame him, Harry Kane as being the focal point, the man to get the Bayern team up and running again in the post-Lewandowski era. Very similar profiles, very similar scoring potential, of course, but Kane's yet to do the big one. He's yet to go on and win a league, win a cup, do something meaningful in the Champions League. You can't count that final before you say anything. He was rubbish. So we're going to be looking at exactly the impact Harry Kane is going to have, and what does the Bayern Munich team for next season probably look like. At any point in the video today, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before the new European season. So if you do enjoy the stuff here, then please do like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And let's just get stuck into it. Now, Bayern Munich last season and, over the last, let's say 12 to 14 months, haven't been as dominating, as imperious as before. Dortmund and Leipzig had little sniffs of being in contention for the league title at different spells, and ultimately Bayern did obviously do the job and reign supreme or whatever. But I do feel that with the amount of talent they've been buying over the last couple of years, they're so well stocked in defence and an attack for a lot of guys that are really, really similar. And it's been very hard for any manager at Bayern Munich to nail down like a definitive best 11, a shape and a tactic to go with, because some of their best players, their most impactful ones, let's say Alphonso Davies, they've had spells of considerable injury, and sometimes they've just not been on the best form. And when you're relying on guys that are so unique, let's say, to carry a dynamic of the team, then if they're not available, a lot of the wheels can fall off quite quickly. Lucas Hernandez has just been sold to PSG. Benjamin Pavard is itching to get out of Bayern Munich as well. And since they have just signed Kim Min-jae, which is a massive acquisition from Napoli, I think he'll do incredible at Bayern Munich. And I think alongside De Ligt, alongside Upamecano, that's probably going to be the best back three in world football. There may be an argument for how Tuchel is actually going to shape up the team, but I think if you're signing Kim Min-jae with Upamecano and De Ligt there, you've got to be thinking about playing all three of them together. There is a good argument to say it might be a back four, and the third one is there to push competition and make sure even if one is unavailable, they'll be able to still field the team to the same standard. I get that, but I think this really does feel like a back three situation. So with that, gives Kane a high probability of coming into a team where he's going to have a partner playing alongside him. Now, a big part of Kane's career at Tottenham, and I suppose with England, is the partnerships he has. Most famously, of course, with Son Heung-min. Now, Bayern Munich, whoever is going to be playing alongside him here, they've got a lot of different options, and there's a lot of kind of similarities between them all. Of course, I'm talking about the most decorated footballer in the history of football, which is Kingsley Coman, who's got ankle ankle's made of glass or whatever it is, he's always injured, but really direct, really forward-thinking left winger, and I don't think he would be a guy that would out-and-out accompany Kane, although he does seem very well favoured at Munich, and I think just with his status and whatever, is not really going anywhere anytime soon. Serge Gnabry, for me, feels like would be, on style, probably the easiest one to partner him. He's got good legs, he's got good versatility on left and right, can drop deep to interact with the midfield and get the ball from there, and allow Kane to stretch a little bit more, and could be a great player for Kane to play off with as well, in terms of hold-up play and layoffs, that kind of thing. So I think Kane and Gnabry could form a bit of a partnership up there. Now, it's hard to see Thomas Muller not in the Munich team. He could feature in midfield, of course he could, but more and more, you know, you find Thomas Muller should be playing in the box, because that's where his real skills, his real knack is that winner's mentality. He always finds himself in the right spot, and he doesn't care about getting down dirty to make it happen, whether it be making assists or scoring goals himself. So, but I think just between the two of them, you really lose a lot of pace. So they would really need to be quite close together if they were going to be playing together. And I'm not too sure if the fullbacks, if that was going to be the way they would set up, would be enough width out there. Musiala, of course, if he was to play as a main starter, which I do expect, is capable enough of peeling into pockets in the wide channels to create stuff for guys in the box. So that could be a bit of an overload situation. That could be good fun, of course. But Alphonso Davies feels like he's 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door. Bayern Munich obviously signed Rafi Guerreiro from Borussia Dortmund in the off-season, and I think he will just be the left-back if Alphonso Davies is sold, or even if Alphonso Davies is kept, he'll be backup for whenever that happens. But one of the interesting comments that came out about the Rafi Guerreiro signing when it happened was that he could be rotation, he could be a squad player for midfield as well. So with Kimmich normally being in this deeper role, Bayern Munich don't really need a Casemiro type, a Rodri type in Bundesliga, just with how dominant they are in possession, how much of the pitch that they do control. So Kimmich being in that deeper role normally gets a little bit further forward anyway and kind of orchestrates play. But if he was allowed to maybe play in the position next to Musiala and get himself a bit more into the final third, when you had a Guerreiro type in that situation, with Davies out there, Kimmich is up here, we've got Musiala in and amongst the box, maybe it's Muller. We could even get talking in about Sané as well, because I think Sané is actually I think he's similar enough to Son Heung-min that could actually be a partnership that would work off very well. Sané is desperate to get himself being the main man in this Bayern Munich team, and I think that a lot of the problems, you know, maybe attitude-wise or whatever it might be that comes from him, is any times where he does feel marginalised, he doesn't feel that empowered by the manager, Nagelsmann or whoever it might be, and Tuchel might have the opportunity, because Sané, for me, like, Sané is top quality. I think he's the best actual player we've spoke about so far to partner Kane in this attack. I would rate him ahead of Sadio Mane. It does feel like he's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door as well. I think he would be a fantastic partner for Kane as well. Would give you a lot of what I think Sané would give you, but he probably gives you a little bit more selflessness with his experiences, obviously in Liverpool, what we've seen from him in the past. But it just doesn't feel like it's worked out for him in Germany for some reason, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him leave Bayern for any number of situations, really. With what I'm saying in mind, that Bayern don't actually need that much of a defensive midfield presence for a lot of their games, I wouldn't be surprised to see Musiala actually up here being the foil for Kane, because Musiala, wildly versatile, very intelligent, great at picking up spaces, and again, very selfless and very good at making the game happen in the final third. And by playing him up here, it allows you maybe to play a little bit more of a boss midfield three here, Goretzka, Leimer, and Kimmich that can really overkill a team and really, you know, especially with the wide options, depend if they were going to be like your Mazraouis and your Davieses or whatever. I think, you know, you're just putting Kane on a platter. You know, Lewandowski style, this is how Bayern would build the game up and just feed Lewandowski all day, every day. And that's why you would see him getting the goals that he did. And I think that's the platform that they want to try and build for Kane somehow, somewhere. I think the combinations that we've ran through in the video, we're going to find is going to be something similar. It's just going to be a situation of what is the occasion for Thomas Tuchel. Is it a big Champions League game where they need to be a bit more defensively minded? Is it a domestic game where they're expected to steamroller? Are they going to rotate some players? is it a cup game? You know, Bayern have got so many options, like we've said, and like we've shown on the video, there's so many interchanging parts in here that we've still not even factored into the equation. I've just managed to get Goretzka on screen, but there is still Matthias Tell. There's still the potential for Muller to play in midfield somewhere, and Marcel Sabitzer is now back at Bayern Munich after the Man United loan didn't materialise. So, and then when you factor in Gravenberch, Choupo-Moting, and then there's a real crop of young talent coming through at Bayern as well in those kind of same positions that are going to want minutes going forward and might need to take the loan track out this season if a lot of these players are retained. In goals, it feels like they're doubling down on Manuel Neuer after the skiing accident. I think he should be back for the new season. They're really pushing Jan Sommer to Inter Milan all of a sudden. And Alexander Nubel, who's just came back from Monaco, there's not really any word on him at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if Neuer's return wasn't going to be until later in the season. They somehow convinced Nubel to stay this year and, you know, take the jersey for the beginning of the season and then task him with trying to retain it. Nubel is one of these guys that broke on to the Bundesliga scene a few seasons ago as a kid to be the next Neuer at Schalke and whatever, transferred to Bayern, and they've been loaning him out for the last 3 seasons or so. So he's itching. He wants to be a number one. He's not playing any games. So be interested to see how that develops, because again, that could be a very good goalkeeper at the age of 26, 27 that's out there on the market as well as Jan Sommer going to Inter Milan. And, you know, there's a bit of a goalkeeper merry-go-round on the go there now. But Harry Kane is really going to complete this Bayern team that, you know, if you take him out of all these pictures that we've looked at, they don't feel like the same team. This feels like a team that could win Champions League. This feels like a team that could run away with the Bundesliga and obviously scoop their cup up as well. And Bayern, we've really associated them with absolute domination over the last 20 years. And since Lewandowski's left, there was that real concern. And I don't think looking at any of these teams, you've got any concern over any of the permutations, any of the combinations that Bayern could put out. It's all going to be a matter of getting Kane into the building as quickly as possible and getting him integrated. I'll be really interested to hear from you guys in the comment section down below what you think Bayern maybe need to do to clean this team up, to optimise having Harry Kane as that arrowhead. How many goals can Kane get in this Bayern team in all competitions for the 23-24 season? I've got to think he can score 50 plus. On screen there now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and retweet. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.